and I'm an environmentalist. Now I focus a lot on environmental education, and I believe it's important to educate the younger generation, not just youth, but children as well, to sort of create that culture of safe and sound environmental practices. I think for them to get more interested and care more, they have to see that direct benefit or that direct connection with the environment. So what I do in a lot of my programs is try to show that connection and how you rely on the environment or how the environment could benefit you, and it works hand in hand into why you should conserve it. Very often, even with every subject in school, you learn a lot of things, but there is no application. So I think working on the application side of things is very important.
I'm a civil engineer, studied in Montreal, Quebec, and I worked there for 3 years after graduating with a big company in geotechnical and environmental engineering. But, I kind of quickly realized that it wasn't very green and that I was desperately seeking something green. And so I, specifically working in slope stabilization of soil, I started to seek green solutions there, and I came across a grass technology that's used for slope stabilization, erosion control, land rehabilitation. And it's a tropical plant. It's used all over Latin America. It's from India, Asia, China, and all that. And I began pushing it within my company. I wound up going on to a big project abroad, overseas, and that project that's when I really got put into the thick of it and saw the level of, it was a lot of destruction taking place. And was really faced with the level of bureaucracy in trying to put something forward that's brand new. And ultimately that brought me to the decision by the end of that contract that, I really couldn't just stay a part of, I just came to this point where it was like you can advance with your career in this, or altogether be like, no, I'm not just going to be a small environmental pin in sort of a big organization that's not necessarily doing the best thing. I decided I wanted to really leave and get into environmental work. So when I left, it was a kind of a radical departure, and I went and traveled a bit on farms in Latin America, in Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Colombia. Just complete opposite, learning about organic agriculture and all of that, and found myself wanting to be back in the tropics again, which is what brought me back to Trinidad from living in Canada for so long. After living in a country that has things in order, so much more order, such as waste management and so on, I really became aware of a lot of basic needs here that weren't being met, and that really pushed me to just get fully on board with it here in Trinidad.
I developed an interest in the environment when I first studied environmental science in Form 6. And at that point I realized more than I did before how important the environment is to our everyday lives. When I joined the Caribbean Youth Environment Network, I met other young people who taught me a lot more about the environment. I didn't realize that I thought it was really just like food and water. I didn't realize how much more there was to it, how much more the environment plays in our everyday lives. Like every single thing we do, we really need the environment for that. So my relationship with the Caribbean Youth Environment Network that's how I developed my knowledge and really my passion for the environment, so to speak. If you ask anybody before, I would not even have said that I consider myself an environmentalist. But after greater understanding, I realized that it's really my role. If I care about myself, if I care about my family, my friends, if I care about my future children and grandchildren, then I need to care about the environment, right? It's about caring about people, because really, without the environment, what are we? Nothing.